So when I was preparing for this morning, I just went in my mom's library of 10,000 books, and I happened to pick this one off the shelf, this thing called Life by Ernest Holmes. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just read a few pages here and just see if it gives me anything to go on at all. So the very first thing in here is this, the very first paragraph. The world is crying out for God. Lost in the canyons of disillusionment, where the trail runs out and stops against granite barriers that wall us in, we cry, "Why hast thou forsaken me?" When war devastates the land and trembling, we stand at the walls of the wound. We stand at the mouth of hell, listening to the screaming of airplanes, the wails of the wounded, and the terror of headlines, we cry, "Why hast thou forsaken me?" And when I read that, I thought, wow, does everybody experience that? Because I've certainly experienced something like that, wandering through this wilderness of my own thinking and my own mind and wondering, where am I going? Where am I? Am I going anywhere? Why hast thou forsaken me? Anybody experience that? So Ernest Holmes had something there. When he wrote this, he's speaking to all of us. And he goes on to talk about then that it's not God that has forsaken us, it's us that have turned ourselves away from that. Because there's no God out there in the sky to say, oh, I'm not going to do anything for you anymore today, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't exist. It's us turning toward life. So, but anyway, through all of this, I was thinking, I've experienced that. And it occurred to me that, the basic thing I think we're all after, when it all boils down to, all we want is we just want to be happy. We all just want to be happy. We all want to find some sense of fulfillment, some sense of satisfaction in our life. We want to belong. We want to have someone love us and have someone out there to love. And so it really boils down to that in the final analysis of things. And so I thought, okay, what I want to do is a little message on 5 keys to happiness. And I picked 5 keys to happiness because I decided to use the word happy. And so we'll use that as our guideline today, the word happy, in finding happiness, 5 keys to happiness. So the first one then is an H, and for H I have honesty. Honesty. And by honesty, what I mean by that is being honest with ourselves. Being honest about who we are, about what drives me, what motivates me, what makes me who I am. And within the context of that is the fact that out of all the billions who have been and all the billions who are to come, we are unique. We are one of a kind. Each and every one of us is one of a kind. So we are alone in that respect, but we are not alone because we're all part of the same stuff. We're all made from the same energy, the same intelligence. And so we all share in that, but we all express uniquely. Every single one of us expresses uniquely. There is no cookie-cutter mold that we all fit into. And if we can do 2 things. One is look at ourselves and be honest with ourselves about who we are, that what works for us. It doesn't necessarily mean what works for you. So how do you define success? How do you define happiness? Well, every single one in here would probably have a different definition. They may be similar, but there would be different things to how you define success for yourself, how you define happiness for yourself. And there's no right or wrong answer to that. There is no, oh, you got that right. Yeah, okay, you're in good shape. No, it doesn't matter. Every single one of us have different ideas of what that means. And we need to be honest with ourselves as to what that means for us. And so if I have grown up in this household, say, that has driven me to go to college and to succeed in this career, I'm supposed to follow my dad, being a lawyer or whatever the case may be, is that what's really me? just because that's what my family has said, just because that's where I've been driven to, that may not be me at all. My son, my youngest son, Kellen, is a really good musician, but more than that, he's a really good songwriter. And he wants to write songs professionally. And so we've been working on that. We've been working with him to be able to do that. But you know what? He doesn't know if he really wants to play the songs. He really hasn't decided if that's him or not. And he's really good. And people always listen to him and they say, wow, why aren't you doing this all the time? You know, this is what you should be doing. And there's something in him that says, is it? Is this what I really want to do? Is to be on stage. I know I want to write. I know I want to write music, but do I want to perform it? You know, is that what is me? So he's going through this struggle right now. And we talk about that a lot, about, you know what, you just need to be honest with yourself, and we'll support you in whatever you want to do, but find that place within you that says, this is for me. Then the second part of this, being honest, is accepting other people's, the fact that other people have different ways than us. Other people have different ideas than us. I may want my kids to go to school. I may want them to do certain things. That may not be for them. I need to be okay with that. I need to say, live your life. My daughter, who's now 22, when she first got out of high school, I encouraged her to go to college, and she did. She went for one semester. She called me halfway through the semester, and she said, Daddy, you're wasting your money. Don't do this anymore. He said, I'm not ready for it yet. I said, okay. Now, at 22 years old, she's back in school and loving it. She's enjoying the whole thing, the entire experience. She's really liking it now. It wasn't for her at the time. Her brothers went straight out of high school into college and went through and graduated and did all that stuff. Wasn't for her. We each have our own way of doing things. Take the time to figure that out, what it is within you. All right, number 2, H.A. A is for two things, acknowledgement and acceptance. Acknowledgement and acceptance. Now, I'm not talking about accepting what we see as our shortcomings or as our weaknesses. Rather, I'm talking about accepting and acknowledging our strength and our power. And sometimes that's harder to do. It's way easy to say, I'm a failure at this, or I've screwed up here, or I'm just not good enough for that. But how easy is it to say, I have strength, I have power, I have something within me that allows me to move through life with power and with strength, to make decisions, to find success, to be happy. So we are all the perfect divine expression of God. There's nothing else for us to be. Each and every one of us, in our own unique way, are the perfect divine expression of life. There's nothing else for us to be. And if we can acknowledge that and then accept that, wow, what power that gives us. What kind of a place does that give us to sit then? It doesn't give us power over, oh, I'm better than you, or I'm more, I'm wonderful. It gives us power in the fact and in the knowledge that I have something within me that everyone else has. We all have the same thing. But what it is it's this upholding and uplifting energy that is what we are, that expresses through us. If we'll just let it, if we'll just allow it to express through us, it will express through us in such ways that we've never even dreamed of. We've never even thought of. Since I left here, I don't know, it's been 2 years now. I've gone through tons of changes, and tons of growing, and tons of, and a lot of wilderness, and a lot of why hast thou forsaken me? And at some points, I've kind of even just given up with things and wondering, why? What's it all about? Why am I even here? What am I doing? And But through all of that, two things have happened. One is she never gave up, and she never quit, and she never is always in the book. She's always in here reading her Course in Miracles, or reading Joel Goldsmith, or reading Ernest Holmes, or whoever it may be. And then in her own little subtle way, she relays it all to me and lets me know what's going on there. And so, I take all that in, and through all of that, it's reminded me that I am this perfect divine energy. That's all that I am, is this perfect energy that's expressing life. And it's expressing life in whatever way I choose, however I choose to express. And it's okay. It doesn't matter how that is. If I choose to express today being depressed, that's okay. Life doesn't care. It doesn't care if that's how I choose to express. It doesn't say, oh, you're a bad person. It doesn't care. So if it doesn't care, then why not express in joy? Why not express in love? Why not express in ways that are fun and exciting? So acknowledge and accept who we are. And who we are is the perfect divine expression of a perfect intelligence that pervades everything that is. That's what we are. Number 3, productivity. P is for productivity. As the expression of spirit, we are naturally creative beings. It is our nature to create. It is our nature to produce. It's our nature to give. If we shut down and we fold up and we don't do that, we don't produce somehow, we don't give somehow, we don't create somehow, we're going against the very nature of what we are. And if we want to be happy, if we want to experience happiness, somewhere along the line we have to find that area of production. It doesn't matter what it is. For most of us, it comes through our work. It comes through a career. And you feel productive, you can feel creative through that, whatever it may be. And that's a lot of the reason that retirement is so difficult for so many people, because suddenly that's gone. So it's important to find something, no matter what it is, no matter what's going on, to find something to keep yourself productive, to keep yourself creative, to keep yourself giving forward. My experience with that is I would tell Tammy, I need something. I feel totally lost. I feel worthless. I need something to do. And I didn't know what that was. I actually worked for the Census Bureau for a little while during that time, but I've applied for 1,000 jobs. There aren't any for 56-year-old guys that don't have any marketable skills. So I've kind of decided to go in a completely different direction, and now I'm a music producer. So yeah, it's perfect for me. But before that, I needed something, and it occurred to me one day, our house, which we're not living in, we're living at her mother's house right now. My kids are living in our house, but our house hasn't been painted in years. The kitchen is from the 70s. And I decided I'm going to go remodel the kitchen. That was going to give me something to look forward to, something to do, something to be productive with. And I went in and I ended up redoing all the cabinets, redoing the countertop, redoing all the painting, put in new light fixtures, the whole works, and I did it for under $300 because I did it all myself. I took all the cabinets down, I sanded them all, I refinished them all in a different color, I put handles on them that they didn't have before, I put our countertops, I sanded them and I painted them. Painted the countertops, that was a real experience. Did it with sponges. Sponge painted them, and it looks like granite. Anyway, the point of all of that is that I found something to be productive. I found something that when I came home then in the evenings, I felt good about it, and I could tell her about it, and it made me feel good. And I looked forward to going the next day. I looked forward to getting up and going and choosing what color paint I was going to have or what I was going to do next and starting the counter over again for the third time because I'd screwed up the first 2 times. But it gave me a sense of excitement. It gave me a sense of something to look forward to be creative, to express that creative side of me. And we all have that. In some regard or another, we all have that. Tammy says all the time, well, I'm not a very creative person. Well, she doesn't realize how creative she is in so many different ways. And you know what? Maybe that productivity or that thing is just as simple as the fact that when any of our kids walk in the house, anybody walks in the house, the first thing she says is, well, are you hungry? Do you need to eat? So she's in there going to cook. Or, as you all know, we have a little one. He's 19 months old now, and grandparenting is the greatest thing ever. It's a joy for her to take care of him and to be with him and to help him along in his growth and stuff. Those are all ways of being productive and being creative and expressing that need to be creative. Find ways to be productive, no matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what else is happening. Find ways to be creative in your life. It's one of the keys to being happy. P number 2. P number 2 works really well with P number 1 if they go together. And P number 2 is passion. Finding passion. Not even finding passion, it's discovering your passion. Discovering your passion, because we all have passion about something. Again, it doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes we get this idea that I need to be passionate about writing a book, or I need to be passionate about, creating this gigantic organization that makes millions of dollars or something. It doesn't matter. Passion is something that's just within here. My passion's sitting right there. And at home, and this little guy and my kids, that's my passion. And for her passion really, really revolves around her reading and her discovering and her exploring her spirituality and life. And she talks about that all the time with the kids and with me. And it's a passion for her. And not that it isn't with me, it's just on a different level with me. Our passion can be anything. It can be music. It can be whatever. It can be scrapbooking. It can be anything. Anything that we have that we feel something inside for, that means something to us, that we get excited about. It's a passion. And if we can discover what that passion is and then work to bring that passion out, whatever it is, passion then gives us purpose. Passion gives us purpose. If we have a passion about something, it gives us a purpose for being here. It gives us a purpose to express today. It gives us a purpose to get up in the morning, and to move forward through life. Purpose is just as important, passion and purpose. And then purpose gives us power. If we get up in the morning and we have purpose in our life, then it gives us power to move forward and to take those steps that are necessary. Even though, it's not always easy. It's not always easy. I don't know about you guys, but things are different now than they were when I was 25 years old. Getting out of bed is harder in the morning. My feet hurt sometimes when I hit the floor. But if we have passion and we have purpose, it gives us power to get up and go and to get things accomplished that we need to accomplish, to move through life. But not just move through it and to survive it, but move through it with joy, move through it with ecstasy, with happiness, with excitement. Find whatever it is that gives you passion, or that is a passion for you, whatever that may be. For my dad, it's NASCAR. He gets excited about that, and that's okay. Okay, H.A.P.P.Y. Okay, guesses for why? Why? Because we like you. Y is for yeehaw. Yeehaw. Finding and doing things that are fun. Finding and doing things that are fun for you. How much time do we actually spend having fun? You know, just enjoying ourselves. Again, it's the simple things. It's really simple things that are fun. Tammy and I look forward, don't laugh, but we look forward to watching Survivor on Wednesday nights. You know? I heard that. We'll have a talk later. We look forward to watching American Idol. You know, those are the two shows out of a year that we really like, that we really want. And so we look forward to it, and it's fun for us. And we anticipate it throughout the day of getting together, and we have our little chairs here, and we have our TV here, and we get our little snacks and some drinks, and this is, you know, it's fun for us. We enjoy it. It's important to find and do things that are fun. If you want to be happy, well, that's part of it. That's part of being happy, is just finding things that are fun. Again, it could be multitudes of things. Another thing that we really enjoy doing is just being in the car and driving. For some reason, for us, that's fun, to get in the car and just drive. Doesn't matter where we're going, doesn't matter what we're doing. We just enjoy driving, being together in the car. And then if we're in a place that we don't know, then it's extra fun, because you want to go around the next corner and around the next bend and up the next hill to see what's there. And that's exciting for us. It's fun, and it's important to do those kind of things. My daughter has a passion for music. She doesn't have a passion for music to play it. She has a passion for music to listen to it. If Yonder Mountain String Band or String Cheese Incident or any number of a dozen others come to town, she's there. And she's not there for one concert. She's there for every concert. If they're there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, she's there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. But she's not there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. She's there Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, Friday morning afternoon, Friday night. The whole thing. That's her whole life at this point in time, is going to these concerts. It is, there is a group of these kids her age that follow these groups all over the place. And if they go to Red Rocks, they're at Red Rocks. And if they go to Broomfield, they're in Broomfield. It doesn't matter where they are. They're there. And that is her life. But you know what? It's fun. She says it is so fun. She goes and she said they dance and they just have fun the whole time. Well, it's hard to argue with that. You know, it's hard to argue with it. As long as she's got the money to pay for it and to go do it, she goes to work the rest of the time, and she goes to work full time, she goes to school full time, and then she does this more than full time. So it's hard to get her to come around the house once in a while. She's pretty busy. But the point is that she's doing something that's fun for her, that she finds joy in. And how often do we do that? How often do we find something that's just pure joy for us? The other night, Kellen was doing some recording, and he wanted, in this particular song, he wanted some whistling in this song. And he didn't know how to whistle. So I said, I can do that. I can whistle it. So I did. I whistled, did the thing, and practiced it a few times. We have a recording booth. And I went into the recording booth, microphone right here. Could not whistle. I mean, I absolutely could not whistle. Stepped out of the recording booth, went back, and I could whistle just fine. Went back in there and well, it got to be so funny. We started cracking up laughing. So then Tammy decides she can whistle. She can come in. She comes in, she did the exact same thing. We are cracking up laughing, harder than I have laughed in years probably. Well, it's all on tape. It's all recorded, all of it. So someday you'll hear a song by my son, and it's going to open or close, or both, with her and I hysterically laughing. It was fun. It was kind of just spur of the moment kind of thing. It just kind of happened. But once it did, we made it fun. We made it a good time. Happiness, being happy. It's really, bottom line, what we're all after. To some degree, we all just want to be okay. One of his songs says that. It says, I just want to be okay. Just want to be okay. And that's really what we're all after, is just to be okay. So if we can do that, if we can be honest with ourselves, if we can acknowledge and accept who we are, the spirit of who we are that divine, perfect expression of God. Find ways to be productive. Find passion in our life, and then yeehaw. Let it go. Have fun with it. 5 keys to finding happiness.